Hello, everyone. This is Professor Hill. This is Monday, November the 5th, 2018. This is the fall 2018 semester for the online class, Introduction to Ethics 2306 here at St. Philip's College. So, what are we doing? We're looking at international humanitarian law, which is a couple of modules in our Canvas website. We're talking about the law of war and the basic principles about what governs war. So it's things like can't bomb hospitals, can't shoot civilians. And there are a wide variety of rules that have developed over time. And as you saw in the video, I posted into our playlist, we saw the foundations of IHL, International Humanitarian Law, coming from the Red Cross, beginning all the way back with Henry Dunant in 1859, and the evolution of the Red Cross, the Geneva Conventions, and now a whole body of works which are together form international humanitarian law. So we're looking at some of these principles, some of these cases. We're looking at the program EHL, Exploring Humanitarian Law, which is put out by the International Committee of the Red Cross. And again, there's some links and some chapters from that work in our modules. And they explore this in more depth. And we're applying them now, just like we had been in the past, taking chapters from our textbook, Doing Ethics by Louis Vaughn. Now we're taking the concepts from IHL, at least from the subset we've been looking at, and applying that to the case study of Baha Musa. This is, again, it's a real-life case. This is not fictional, actually happened, and it's a terrible, tragic story. We wanted to focus in on the role and responsibility of the doctor in this case study. And as you can see in the case study, he was ultimately charged as part of an investigation into what happened. He was dismissed from the military, and then he was struck off from the medical license. He had his medical license withdrawn. He's eligible to reapply this year, interestingly enough. It's now been that long. But the question for us is, first of all, does what happened fall under IHL? Because we're looking at that as a source of authority to help determine what's right and wrong, good and bad. We have to also look at, for example, the rules of engagement. We have to look at his own code of medical ethics. But we also want to be thinking about bringing all of these things to bear on his decision. Because again, ultimately what happened was he didn't torture Baha Musa. He didn't inflict the injuries. But it becomes clear that he treated him, and he testified later that the extent to which how severely harmed Baha Musa was. He said, no, look, he had some injuries, but he didn't think they were life-threatening. He didn't think he needed to stop the interrogation. Baha Musa ultimately dies, and there were other prisoners, waiting in line. And he did not bring it to a stop. He didn't say, look, I don't care. You guys need to stop what you're doing. You're torturing these guys. You're harming these guys. You need to stop. Now, he was new. He was a very young doctor, very inexperienced, new to the profession, new to the military. But their point was, look, from day one, if you're a doctor, from day one, if you're an officer, you have obligations and responsibilities. And he should have done more. That was the result of the investigation, which, again, dishonorably discharged him from the military. So our question is, given the difficult, chaotic circumstances, given his lack of experience, are there enough mitigating factors that somehow this actually decreases his responsibility? It means that he's not as culpable, that maybe we should be more lenient in his case? Or do we say, no, look, you didn't uphold your duty. You should have reported this. You should have stopped this. It's a tough and interesting call to make because, again, there's levels of responsibility and culpability for what happened to Baha Musa. Clearly, the people that were torturing him are directly responsible for his injuries. It's a different level, though, to say, well, there's somebody who's just a bystander who's observing it. Should they stop? That's different than the doctor's role because he's there and had a responsibility. He has a unique relationship with that patient, which says, no, you actually have a duty to stop this and to make the call. And he didn't do that. Anyway, these are the things we're wrestling with for our assignment, which is due on Wednesday of this week. It's Monday. Make sure that you get through all the reading on the IHL. If you got any questions, let me know. And then write a reflection on this case. It's a difficult, horrible, ugly case. I'm sorry about that. But it actually happened, and we got to think about what it means for us in terms of military ethics, in terms of medical ethics, and in terms of our responsibility to each other as human beings. Again, remember, this is about ethics. The law piece is relevant and important, but we're interested in the fundamental good and bad that's going on here. And so in this case, what are our responsibilities to act? How responsible are we when we don't act in situations where we do have responsibilities? And how do we distinguish these things out? Again, I put in there specifically the story which talks about, how the doctor in this case is a victim. Now, a lot of people say, no, he was a perpetrator. No, he was a victim. Maybe he was just somewhere in between in a very difficult, gray, murky, moral zone, which I have to tell you, you don't want to let him off, but you also understand some of the circumstances he was under and the pressures he was under. It's a difficult thing to try to sort out. So think about all that, write about all that. I'll look forward to receiving your contributions, your 500-word essays by midnight on Wednesday. If you have any questions at all, as always, let me know, and hopefully I can help you out. Other than that, welcome to November, guys. There's only one more after this one, so these things, we're going to be wrapping this class up before you know it. So anyway, get to work. Talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.